Hey guys, Paul here. So if you've been scrolling through Zillow recently wondering if you'll ever be able to afford a home or if you're just destined to rent forever, well, just know that I'm here for you. And today we're diving into 7 farmhouse properties in Georgia that won't require you to sell a kidney, which is always nice. We're starting with the most expensive and working our way down to prices so low you might think there's even a typo. So stick around to the end because property 7 actually costs less than most people's weddings. All the property links are in the description below, so have a look at them if you want more details. Now let's dive in.
Okay, let's go.
Property number 1 comes in at $195,000 in Toccoa, Georgia. Now I know what you might be thinking, $195,000 for just over 900 square feet sounds a little steep. But here's the thing, this is the one property on our list that actually doesn't need too much extra work at face value. This place was completely gutted and rebuilt in 2022. We're talking a new roof, new HVAC system, water heater, new plumbing, new electrical. Basically everything that could break got replaced with stuff that definitely won't. Okay, well, I can't guarantee it, but it's pretty likely that it won't. The kitchen is where this place really shines in my opinion. So you've got quartz countertops, white shaker cabinets, and that deep undermount farmhouse sink. Both bathrooms have tile showers, and the entire place has luxury vinyl flooring that looks like wood, but also handles Georgia's humidity without warping. The covered front porch gives you a classic spot to sit with your morning coffee and contemplate your life choices, which may or may not be a good thing thinking about it. Toccoa sits in northeast Georgia's Stevens County, so it's got that small town charm without being so remote that you're driving an hour just for basic groceries. The big attraction here in Toccoa is definitely Toccoa Falls, which is a 186-foot waterfall, and it's one of the tallest free-falling waterfalls east of the Mississippi. So if you're into hiking or photography or just general nature, it's literally right there. You're also about an hour from Athens if you need more of a city vibe and city amenities. So you're working with about $215 per square foot, so you are paying a bit of a premium, but you're definitely getting a completely move-in ready home. So sometimes that peace of mind is actually worth the extra money. And I say extra money, but I think this place is still an immense value. Moving to property number 2, we head west to Bremen at 111 Bryant Street West. And this property is going for $189,000. So this is where things get really interesting because this is actually a 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom Victorian-style farmhouse that was built in around 1898 or possibly even earlier. I say that because during renovation work, they actually found some pre-Civil War bricks in the original chimney. So you're potentially buying one of the oldest homes in Bremen, which is either really cool or possibly haunted depending on your perspective. But when we get into the numbers, I think you're going to overlook the fact that it might be haunted. And let me tell you why. If we talk numbers, you've got over 3,000 square feet for that $189,000 you've paid. So that's about $62 per square foot. You're paying less per square foot than some people pay for even storage units. Now this one definitely needs some finishing work, but here's what makes it intriguing. A ton of the heavy lifting has already been done. There's a brand new metal roof, which as we all know can probably cost anywhere from $20,000 plus. All the windows are new and on site and ready to install. The original heart pine floors are still there, that gorgeous dense wood that you basically can't get anymore. The ceilings are 10 feet tall on the main level, giving the whole place this kind of grand feeling that modern homes tend to lack. Bremen is northwest of Atlanta, just to give you an idea of where it's located. Jones Elementary, which is nearby, has an A rating, which definitely matters for resale value, even if you don't have kids or don't plan for them in the future. Look, this place definitely needs some work, but imagine being the person who restores one of Bremen's earliest homes. And if you've ever watched renovation shows and thought, I think I could do that. This is definitely your shop. Property 3 takes us down to Hartsfield at 340 Bryan Road, where the property there is going for $179,900. So this is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom farmhouse on a full acre, giving you just about 1,500 square feet, which runs you about $120 per square foot. The home was built in 1965 and has been remodeled since. This one is in a bit better shape than most on our list. The open concept layout makes the inside, the living room, the kitchen, the dining area really flow together, which makes the place feel bigger than it really is. The bedrooms are generously sized, and you've also got a full acre surrounded by countryside views with some legitimate privacy, a carport, a porch, an outbuilding. I mean, honestly, what more could you want? One thing to note though is this home actually runs on well water and a septic system, so it is decentralized, which is very normal for rural Georgia, but just something to know if you are considering the property and you don't have experience with those things. Let me be straight about Hartsfield. It is tiny, so we're talking a few hundred people. You definitely won't find a Target or a Starbucks here, at least not that I'm aware of. This is definitely a wave at strangers because there's only 12 of them kind of a vibe. You're about 20 minutes from Moultrie for grocery stores or basic needs, which is a nearby city. Your property taxes are going to run you about $600 per year, which is honestly what some people pay per month in other states. For just $179,900, you're getting space and peace that would cost triple this in a suburban area. Property 4 takes us to Fitzgerald at 885 Lower Rebecca Road, where we're looking at a property for $129,000. But the difference with this property is you're getting 3.45 acres of land alongside that. So that works out to be about $84 per square foot when you look at the actual home itself. But again, the real story here is that acreage. The home itself was built in 1960, and this one is going to need some elbow grease for that reason. So there's carpet throughout, and underneath, the listing actually discloses that there are original varnished pine floors just waiting for you to uncover them if that's what you're into. The home also has harpine walls, which is that horizontal wood paneling that looks really cool when it's all cleaned up. The listing also mentions that the floor in the washer dryer area may need some repairs due to a leak, so that's just something that you might want to budget for if you're considering this property. The screened-in front porch is also essential for Georgia summers where, as some of you might know, the mosquitoes can be the size of a small bird in my opinion. You've also got central heating and cooling, a shed, and a carport. Again, what more could you ask for? This is going to require some elbow grease, as I mentioned, but apart from that, it's got really good bones. Fitzgerald is one of the more interesting and unusual cities within Georgia because it was actually founded in the 1890s as a colony for Union veterans relocating to the South after the Civil War. Today, it's known for its annual Wild Chicken Festival, which celebrates the town's feral chickens that roam around freely. Yeah, you heard that right. Feral chickens. They just walk around like they pay taxes. For $129,000, this is the kind of opportunity suburban folks can't even imagine. Now, Property 5 takes us to northeast Georgia, in a city called Royston, at 3075 Sycamore Road, where the property there is going for $115,000. Weirdly enough, the listing doesn't actually give the exact square footage, probably because record keeping in the 1960s was more of a suggestion than a science, but you can always reach out to the listing agent to get that information if you're interested in this property. What you get is definitely clear though: 3 acres, a fenced yard, a screened porch, and a detached garage. But as we get lower in prices, here's where we need to be transparent. This one probably needs one of the most amounts of attention. So budget for flooring repair at a minimum and probably get an inspector out there just to double check everything and fully know what you're getting yourself into. But at $115,000 for 3 acres, you're paying so little that you can factor in repairs and you can still come out ahead. Royston is up in Elbert County near the South Carolina border. It's genuinely small with only a few thousand people, and the town's main claim to fame is actually being Ty Cobb's birthplace, and there's even a museum dedicated to him. What makes the location work is you're only 30 minutes from Hartwell Lake, which offers 56,000 acres of boating and fishing. Your $115,000 buys you essentially 3 acres and a home that might need some TLC but has some solid fundamentals. 46 drops us into Macon, Georgia, at 1958 3rd Street, where the property there is going for $105,000, and this price almost seems impossible for what you're getting. This is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom home with 870 square feet in the Tyndall Heights Historic District. Now, 870 square feet is definitely small. That's, you can vacuum the entire house without changing outlets small. But everything has been replaced. I mean, there's been a new roof, new siding, new sheetrock, flooring, plumbing, electrical, even new HVAC with maintenance insurance, new porch, new deck, new fence. I could go on. It was built in the 1920s, but after this renovation, you're basically getting a new house in vintage clothing, which is always nice because vintage is always in. The kitchen has stone countertops with white cabinets, luxury vinyl tile throughout, and both bathrooms are completely redone with even a soaking tub in one of them. The 10-foot ceilings make the small square footage feel less cramped, and here's the real kicker. Annual property taxes are $142. Yeah, you heard that right, $142. Macon is the only actual city on this list with 150,000 plus people in a metro area. So there's a lot to do, including the Grand Opera House, the Tubman Museum, and Macon's incredible music history. Because if you don't know, this is actually the town that gave us the Allman Brothers and Little Richard. Downtown have restaurants, breweries, and of course shops all within walking distance. The trade-off is that you're in an urban neighborhood on a massive 87 square foot lot. So you've got neighbors close by and the potential for some street noise, just like you would in any urban neighborhood. But for $105,000, you're actually getting a real turnkey home in a city with amenities and culture. Property number 7 is more of an honorable mention, and it comes in at $80,000, taking us over to Bowdoin, Georgia. Now, I'm not going to deep dive this home on this video in too much detail because I know a lot of you who watch my videos are more interested in one-to-one properties, whereas this one is more than likely better suited for an investor because it needs to be basically gutted and refurbed from the inside out. However, it does come with a decent plot of land, and again, the home is $80,000 overall, so it's very inexpensive. So if you are interested, I'm going to put a link below so you can check it out. There you have it, 7 farmhouses across Georgia, all the way from $195,000 down to $80,000. Each of them offers something different depending on what you value, whether that's convenience, land, history, or honestly just pure affordability. So thanks again for watching, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.